Faith Walk 2.
Praise the Lord.
Second in a series. I'm not much on series, but this morning I felt like, or this week I felt like I needed to enlarge upon that faith thing. Probably faith is one of the most misunderstood things that we talk about. You rarely ever have a church service where the word faith is not mentioned. But you have so many people that walk away from that service or those services and don't operate in faith. I want to share with you a couple of things this morning. Without faith, it is impossible to please God. Without faith, you can't please Him.
Amen, brother.
All of us are at the place, I think we're here, we want to please God.
Yes.
In order to do that, we must not only say we have faith, but we need to operate in faith.
Yes, thank you.
Without faith, it is impossible to please God.
Yes, thank you.
So then, Pastor, please tell us, what is this thing called faith? Faith
Yes.
is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence
Faith, don't see.
of things
Not
not
seen.
seen. Faith almost sounds like a nebulous thing, but it's really a concrete experience
Yes, yes.
that goes beyond just I hope so, maybe so.
Amen.
And so we really need to think about this faith thing one more time. It says, Paul speaking to the church at Rome, if you don't have faith, you can't please Him.
Amen.
In another place, Paul says, and I'm getting way ahead, but you'll probably hear it again, that everything that is not of faith is sin. And I just want myself, I'm not speaking for you now, just for me, I want to say, oh my. Everything that is not of faith is sin? Does the Bible really say that? Yes, it does. And what he's telling us is that we need to understand this thing called faith and operate in it so that God can be pleased with our lives and so that we can make a difference. Let me tell you that faith goes beyond feeling. We talked about that last week. Faith goes beyond sight. And the problem that we have with faith is that we have so much experience in the way we've always done things that it's hard to interject faith and start living absolutely free of all the feelings, all the things, even factual things that we see. It's hard to get shed of all that and grab a hold of who God is and say, by faith I can do all things. How many really believe that?
Yeah.
By faith all things are possible. By faith I can do this. And the reason we don't do it is because we don't have faith. And if we don't have faith, we can't please God. And everything that is not of faith is sin. So I'm not trying to turn the whole church away from God. I'm trying to tell you that God has made some specific requirements and He requires faith. We cannot please Him without faith.
Amen.
So we can clap our hands. We can sing these praise songs. We can get on our knees and pray. We can take communion. But we can't please Him without faith. Whatever we do needs to be by faith. That means I absolutely believe that God can be taken and will be taken on His word. I believe that God said it. I believe it'll be done that way. I'm trusting God in everything that I do. I just wondered this morning, where are we on this? Maybe I should just think about me. Where am I on this? And then maybe you can relate so that I don't walk around pointing my finger and picking at you. Where am I? And last night as I was thinking about this, I thought, and you know that I have some vision impairment now. And I was praying and going down the prayer list, and my name is on there. And I'm praying, God, you taught faith, you live faith, you produce faith,
Yes, yes,
so that you would walk up to a person who's blind and say, what can I do for you? And this person says that I might see. You walk to the leper and said, what do you want me to do that I might be free of this leprosy, that I might walk, whatever the situation was. And by faith, they had to receive that. If they had just let him walk by and not received it by faith, they'd still be blind, they'd still be deaf, they'd still be lepers,
yes.
and
yes.
they'd still be crippled. And so I'm rehearsing that in my mind, and I'm thinking, what do I need to do? Where is this thing? Do I have the faith to believe?
Praise the Lord.
And I guess the first thing I had to do was convince me.
Yes, come on, brother.
You know, I could stand there or sit there or kneel there and tell God all the faith that I had. And God, who knows everything and is the creator of all,
Yes,
knows where I'm lacking.
yes, amen.
So you know what I ended up doing? I ended up saying the hardest thing in the world. God, just can you show me where I need my faith increased? Can you show me where my unbelief is? Look at, we just talked about that roof over there. The whole roof was good. Just that one little spot.
Yes, come on.
And it all leaked in. Everything is good. You dress nice, you pay your tithe, you go to church, you never miss, you wear Sunday school, perfect attendance pin, all of those kind of things. There's one little spot where you just don't let him have reign.
Yes,
That one little spot. I want to tell you that this morning, and before I finish, I'm going to tell you that there are some essentials to faith.
yes,
Some things that need to be done and some things that need to be accomplished. And if we don't have faith, we're just church attenders. Good, thank you for coming.
come on, amen.
There are so many, and I'm going to put quotes around this word, Christians
Yes,
who don't operate in faith.
come on, brother.
There are those people that have come to the altar and confessed and accepted the Lord, and they go to church and they do everything that is expected of them. They do everything right, but they don't live by faith.
Amen.
They can't trust Him beyond what they can feel or touch. They can't trust Him beyond what they can smell or taste or hear.
Praise the Lord.
And I know sometimes we prostitute those words, but I just mean the things that are out there, and we see them, and we have so much training over the years in doing things by rote, by tradition. The things that we've done in the church, we just do them. We've always done them, and that's the right way to do it, right? And all of a sudden you look at his book and say, wait a minute. And I'm not speaking against a denomination or a church or anything. I'm just saying, in our own lives personally,
Yeah, yeah,
we need to understand where we are
yes.
in this faith thing. Do I have enough faith to believe that He said,
Praise the Lord.
I can ask anything? Do I have enough faith? Oh yeah, I do. No. You gotta live it. When you have faith, all of a sudden it will show.
Yes,
You know what faith brings to your life? Power.
yes, yes,
Power to overcome.
yes.
Power to live. Power to refuse the thing that feels good, tastes good, smells good, entices your ears. Faith, faith gives you power to live victoriously. Faith gives you the relationship with God that allows Him to make the crooked way straight in your life.
Amen. Yes,
Could I just tell you this morning? There's some crooked ways in my life.
yes, amen.
There are some places where I stand at the Y in the road and trying to figure out which way to go. I know that's never happened to you.
Yes, it has.
Well, wait a minute. He just talked about having to fight this morning to get up and get to church.
Yes, yes.
Faith doesn't question that. Faith says, I have power. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Yes, amen.
Faith takes me through. And
Yes,
it's not just saying the word or knowing the definition. It is absolutely required that we live that word.
yeah,
That faith is not just a part of our vocabulary, but faith is a word that we have embedded in us. Faith is something that we absolutely live by. We reminded again that without faith it is impossible to please Him. Let me remind you again that if it's not of faith, it's sin. Well, Pastor, that's a little harsh. This morning somebody mentioned about the fact that I've been here 7 years. And the response was, oh, it doesn't seem that long. I said, to you, you love me.
amen, brother.
It might really be long to somebody else. Somebody saying back there, remember, I can hear you thinking. Somebody saying, one more sermon like this, and he won't make it to year 8.
Praise the Lord.
But I'm obliged, I'm obligated, I'm compelled to tell you what God laid on my heart.
Yes,
To tell you the truth.
come on, brother.
Sometimes I see these guys, not very often, but sometimes, and I hear about these guys who have this great following and everybody listens to them, even when they're not saying anything.
Come on.
And I think, well, wouldn't it be great to have a crowd like that? The answer is no. Well, it is great to be in God's will. That God's will
Yes.
comes by us walking in faith.
Yes, yes.
God's will and faith has you at the job that you need to be. It has you in the home that you need to be. It has you drive in the car. I know I don't want to sound so heavenly minded that I'm no earthly good, but I want to tell you, you can't do anything without faith.
Amen, brother.
Faith means power in your life. Faith means I can overcome. Faith means that when the things get crooked on the way, God will know and God will be there with me, and I know that it's going to straighten out. I may come up against the mountain and know the whole time something's going to happen here because I have faith and God's going to move this thing.
Yes, yes.
Even diseases, even broken relationships, even financial difficulties. Nothing is too hard for God. The problem is that if we don't live in faith, we can't expect Him to do what He does best. Wait, do I need to say that again? If we're not expecting Him to do it, if we're not living by faith, He can't.
Amen, brother. That's right.
He's obligated Himself to respond to faith. He's obligated Himself to respond to the blood. He's obligated Himself to respond to the voice that hears Him.
Yes.
Wednesday night when we finished the session, I asked a couple of questions that our Bible teacher said, sometimes he asks hard questions and I'm going to have to think about it. Sometimes I do. I ask myself hard questions.
Yes.
Sometimes the questions are asked and I don't know what the answer might be.
Come on.
I was reading just the other day about these. See, this morning I was thinking, I'm 81 years old. I'll soon be 82.
Praise the Lord.
I'm in my second year of Moses ministry.
Yeah.
Everybody gets that? You know what I mean?
Yes.
And he went and delivered the Israelites from Egypt.
Yes.
640,000 of them saw the waters part and they went across it. You know, he even argued with God when God called him. He said, I can't do this. I'm slow of speech. I'll take care of that.
Yes, amen.
His God was not to lean on. His God was power with God.
Yes.
And he goes to Egypt and makes friends with Pharaoh
Yeah.
and gets the people out of there. And these people see the waters part and they're getting into this wilderness and they're walking and God's sending them manna and he's sending them quail and he's sending them shoes that never wear out and everything is just going great.
Yes.
And the tabernacle is built and the people are supposed to be worshiping God. He's the deliverer.
Yes.
He's the redeemer. He's done everything that they could possibly dream of. And all of a sudden they start failing him. They stop serving him.
Yes.
They stop believing that he is.
Come on, brother.
They start thinking, we could have done better over there.
Come on.
I wonder, I'm just wondering now, I'm not saying anything, I'm just wondering if something like that in our lack of faith may happen to us along the way. Well, I was better off before I got saved. I'd just as soon be back over there living that life. And you know what God did? This is what amazes me. After all the work of getting them out of Egypt, they rejected him and he killed them. I'm thinking, oh my goodness, how does this happen to somebody? Let me tell you what, it's not that he's going out killing people today, but some are dead in their trespasses, even after they have claimed to have faith. And some, when the Lord comes, will not be caught up with them because of a lack of faith. Because when it got dark, we decided to take some other avenue. When the cancer came, we didn't trust him anymore. When the difficulties in life came, we tried to figure out some other way to do it. What will we have to do to get back to that faith? What will we have to do to get back with this living in faith? I think there are some essentials that we need to know. Faith equals power. No faith equals no power. If I didn't say another word, grab a hold of that. Faith equals power. Faithless means without power. It means without strength. There's a Greek word, but I don't want to show off and tell you. I'd have to look it up anyway. But it just means that you're weak. It means that you're without strength. So if you have no faith, you're weak and you're without strength. And listen to me, I don't want you to go out of here this morning saying, well, I have faith. Saying it is not the same as having it. Having it will cause you to operate in it. It will cause you to walk in that power. I want to just share with you in closing 5 fundamental essentials to faith. Now listen. This word essential has become more popular since February. We knew the word before, of course, but we never used it. All of a sudden we have essential employees, we have essential meetings, we've decided that some things are essential. Let me tell you what, there are some things that are essential to you having faith.
Yes, yes.
Not just learning a definition of the word essential, but you must have. Number 1, everyone must operate in faith.
Yes, yes.
If you're going to have faith, you have to be willing to operate in it. You can't just say, I have it, but you must be willing to operate in it. So that when you get to that part, water where it needs to be parted, or you get to that thing that's impossible, you get to that tough decision that has to be made, it's by faith.
Yeah.
Lord, what would you have me to do? I know that's a really hard thing for some of us to do because we've done it before, we already know how to do it. I said we have a lot of practice in our traditional things, but we need to get out of that. We need to get a hold of God and walk and speak and live in this thing called faith. Everyone needs to operate in faith. Faith is very dynamic. Faith is catching. When somebody sees your faith, they'll hunger after that. They'll want what you have. That's the way we're going to go out into the world and win them, by our faith. Sometimes we look at people, and you know there's people in your life that are very much like this, that you think there is not a chance on this side of heaven for them to get saved. The answer is yes, there is.
Yes, amen.
By faith.
Amen.
If they're still breathing, there is still hope.
Yeah.
And we can, without faith brings helplessness. And without faith, and brings you into this place called helplessness, it brings you to that place of hopelessness. That's why I liked it when I first came here. I told you I like the name of the church, New Hope.
Yes, yes.
But if you get without faith and you're helpless and you're hopeless, that's why our suicide rate is so high. Because people get without hope and they think there's nothing else to do. Faith changes all that. Faith is dynamic in its power. Faith will move mountains. Faith must first be released. That is, you need to let this, you can't just harbor faith all by yourself. You need to release it. Walk in this thing. Believe it. And if it doesn't happen this week, don't quit. I'm praying for souls. I'm praying for the church to grow. I'm praying to touch Monticello. Didn't happen last week. I want it to happen today. But if it doesn't happen, and I know that sounds really negative, but if it doesn't happen, I'm going to still depend upon Him tomorrow.
Yeah.
Faith says I can do all things through Him. He strengthens me. He gives it to me. He wants me to release my faith. Faith works by love. You can have faith and not have love, or you can have love and not have faith, and they work together. Faith works by love. I don't know that I need to say any more about that.
Yes, they do.
Faith releases you from bondage.
Amen.
Faith in Him will set you free. And while you're looking at me, I think, and while we're getting ready to mull this over, maybe listen to it again on the internet, faith will set you free.
Amen.
The question is not how powerful faith is itself, but how will you let it play into your life? Can I let my faith be increased? Or am I satisfied with this little bit of grace that we talked about earlier in the New Testament when He says, if you have faith as a grain of mustard seed? That's supposed to increase, folks. We've been around a long time now. You're supposed to have more faith and walk in that faith power, and walk in that faith knowledge, and walk in that faith love, and walk in that faith dynamic that will change your life and the people that you contact. Would you stand? Lord, over and over again, we see in the scripture that faith without works is dead. We don't want to have a dead faith. We don't want to be without power in our life. And I think over the years, the church has become less powerful than it once was, certainly less powerful than you intended for it to be. And I pray that faith would rise up in every person in this room, and every person who hears this message, that faith would rise up. That faith would be power. And that things because of faith will be different. And faith will be contagious. And faith will touch those that we come in contact with because of love. I pray, God, for every need in this room, for everyone that simply is saying right now, I need more faith in my life. I need faith in my life. I don't want to just say it, I want to live in the power of faith. And my life will be changed from this day forward. I wonder how many would raise their hand and say, that's me, you just described me. Nobody looking around, just raise your hand. It's you and God. Father, have your way in these lives. Be glorified in them. Let faith arise in such a way that we've never experienced before. I pray for faith in my life, Lord. Increase my faith until there be no question or doubt about anything. Forgive me for the times that I've questioned you, Lord. And give me strength to believe in all that you've said on every level, always for your glory. And I'll give you all the praise and all the glory and all the honor. And everybody said, amen. And everybody said, amen.
Praise the Lord.
Sing this chorus.
I'd like to thank you for the faith and strength to win the day. Your words bring light, your power never dies and takes my fears away. It's not the hardest thing to do, how can I question you? Throw my life into the fray, let go and live my life your way.
Thank you for watching the sermon this morning. We're privileged to bring that to you. I trust that it was a blessing to you and that it will continue to be a blessing to you as time progresses. If you have any questions or prayer requests, please feel free to call. The number is on the screen. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.
Swing these dreams to make me see